Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here with an exclusive hands-on preview of The Unspoken. Insomniac flew me down to their Burbank offices and I was able to get my hands on a couple of the games they're working on. In this video I'm talking about The Unspoken, which is a VR game coming out for Oculus Rift plus Touch. Now the video is all B-roll, meaning it is kind of an over-the-shoulder shot with the screen and my gameplay in the same shot, and that's all we're allowed to show you guys. Now, I have a lot to say about this game, but to explain some of the basics, this is a VR PvP spellcasting game set in Chicago, exclusively made for the Oculus Rift store, coming out in holiday 2016. So in terms of the storyline, it's pretty basic. In this world, magic is real, and there's this like underground magic fight club scene where people duel in like urban areas to the death, and then you try to win basically one-on-one battles with players will find themselves using their shield and special abilities on their left hand and shooting and using some of those special abilities with their right hand, assuming they're right-handed. And you can cast a variety of powerful spells, and if you do good enough, you can even cast environmental spells, which are basically like huge battle-ending type things that happen with the environment in the game. The game has over 25 spells and a ton of different arenas, and obviously since I was at Insomniac Games, those are the people who made it. You may recognize them from games like Ratchet & Clank, Spyro the Dragon, Sunset Overdrive, and some of their new upcoming games, Song of the Deep and Edge of Nowhere. Now, with some of that info out of the way, I'm going to talk about my hands-on experience with the game, what I got to try, and what I thought about it. So, essentially, I played the tutorial plus 2 PvP matches against other real people who stood in front of me. Obviously, this is an Oculus VR game, so all I can see is whatever's on the headset, which is what you're seeing in the screen, but obviously in 3D space through 2 lenses. And I also do have the 2 Oculus Touch controllers, one in my left hand and one in my right hand. In total, I played the game for about 25 to 30 minutes, and I think I got a good general idea of how the game's going to play. Obviously, it's very early build, so it's quite limited in its current experience, but I think there's some cool ideas in there that I'll talk about right now. Now, graphically, the game is decent, which you can expect from most VR games. They're not going to be graphically the best, although the game's quite colorful, and it is pretty unique in its premise. The gameplay with the Oculus Rift and touch controls was extremely responsive, and when I played it, I got the sense that this is what I wish Kinect was when it first came out. The gameplay incredibly responsive, and everything you see on screen feels like it is instantaneous to when you're doing it in real life. Adding physical controllers to a VR and motion type game actually does enhance the experience quite well. And although there was a little bit of a learning curve, and yes, some people did get headaches after extended play, the game actually did play very well, and again, extremely responsive if this game is up your alley. Because of all the built-in sensors, your shots actually go where you're looking, which means you don't really miss very many shots. And also, the shots travel based on how fast your hand moves, which is a lot better and more reliable when you actually have a controller in your hand. So you might be wondering, is this game just a tech demo for the Oculus Rift and Touch? And it seems like it's built with a little more in mind than just being a tech demo and the type of game that early adopters are going to buy just to have something to play. There are actually core game dynamics, and the game is meant to be competitive between players. Now, in terms of those gameplay dynamics, how do they work? Well, you have a generic fireball that you can use at any time that does decent damage, although not a lot. Additionally, you can go and pick up orbs, which you'll have to travel from platform to platform to pick those up, and if you get enough orbs, you can summon your master spells, or whatever they call them in the game, which are bigger, badder spells that do more damage and are much harder to block. There's also shields and passive stuff you can equip that'll help you win the battles in the long term. Additionally, large orbs spawn in the middle of the battlefield, and players will have to try to fight each other to be the one to break that orb. If you get enough of those orbs, you can summon a golem, which does significantly more damage than any of the other master spells. It seems like the game does have some built-in competitiveness, and hopefully that translates well. I'm hoping to get more hands-on time with the game in the near future to develop some more in-depth thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. Special shout out to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show, and hopefully I see you guys next time. Peace!